So after trying to find um, a copy of, say, If I Ran the Zoo or McGilligut's Pool, and to think I saw it on Mulberry Street or whatever. Those are three of the titles. Let me find all of them. I'll show you real quick. All of the canceled titles of Dr. Seuss that are no longer going to be published because they portray hurtful images. Hurtful images. Just, the loony left and the demented Democrats, they're at it again. Canceling crap, telling Hasbro, I guess Hasbro, back down. I mean, even the name Hasbro has bro in it. So why not has been? Because that's where I predict they're going to be going. They're going to be going down the toilet. Just like Coca-Cola, good old Crack-A-Cola, the soda that used to actually have cocaine in it, which, I'm a Pepsi guy. Um, and I like Chevy versus Ford. And I don't hate Ford. Ford makes a couple of good cars, okay? They make some good cars. They make some good trucks. I like Chevy. Anyway, whatever. But I would drink a Coke if the place only had Pepsi. That's one thing I would change if I was president, by the way. I would stop all these restaurants from doing this, like, deal with the devil for the soda devil. Like, only one soda devil can be at your restaurant. Why not both? Why can't I serve whatever I want to my customers? Well, because we'll give you a fabulous deal, but you can't serve our competitors crap. Pathetic. Anyway, I have made a vow after the whole Coca-Cola thing that I'm not going to drink Coke anymore. I don't care if all they have is Coke. If they don't have like a Dr. Pepper, which is independent, by the way, and it's still okay, I'm not drinking any soda. And hey, that's better for me anyway, but now I can actually do it because I'm not going to be told to be less white. I mean, what does that even mean? They gave a little list. Robin DiAngelo, she wrote a book called White Fragility. She's the most fragile looking white chick I've ever seen. A stiff wind could blow that lady over. And she's running around telling white people that they're racist and that they're fragile. They can't even handle talking about racism because they're fragile. And a stiff breeze could blow this lady over. Okay? I mean, anyway, so on to the video here. Hopefully this is recording. I can't even see the webcam, so I hope it is. I'm going to have to stop and check, actually. Okay, so it's working. So here are the 6 titles. I did this search, I don't know if I used Google or whatever, but this is literally what came up, which cracks me up because if any movie out there ever portrayed like real stereotypical African Americans, which is what one of the books is being canceled for because it portrays African Americans in a hurtful way, and some Asian people too. But I like how they didn't even mention, like the Mexican looking dude, like who's propped up against a palm tree, like lazy Mexican stereotype. I mean, if you want to pick out stupid shit and get mad about things, you can find it anywhere. But what kills me, literally, so I look up the 6 books that are being canceled, and Coming to America is the ad, like, hey, original Amazon movie, Coming to America, which I love Coming to America, don't get me wrong. But if there was ever a movie that was like very stereotypical, accents and crazy like African American behavior, I mean, it's got the dude who plays the voice of Darth Vader, you know, as the king, who's Eddie Murphy's father. And I don't know. I mean, but that's okay because those are black people making it. And it was a black movie. There's a lot of black people in it. So it's okay for black people to make fun of black people. It's okay for black people to say the N word. It's okay for black people to do basically anything. But if you're a white dude and you do anything that can be twisted or construed as racist, then by all means you're a racist. And what is funny here, Trump's out of office, okay? So they don't have anybody to be claiming as a racist anymore. So let's go after an 80-year-old white dude that wrote a bunch of children's books. We got to call something racist. We can't let it die. We can't let this simmer down. We got to go after something that's racist. So anyway, so here's the books, and so I started looking them up, and McGilligut's Pool. All right. Now, does it show like some people of different walks of life? Yeah, because McGilligut's Pool is this pool that is full of garbage, and you'll never catch a fish there. And but then the kid is dreaming about a fish that he might catch, and that might swim all the way from Australia. Which there was a fish. I'm very disturbed by this. I can't believe this is in a children's book, and these books were in schools, because I think of all the Australians out there that were harmed with this book. Seriously, there's like a fish that has a pouch, like a kangaroo, and hey, kangaroos are in Australia, but that's incredibly racist and harmful. Those poor Australians. Anyway, so I'm sitting here watching this thing. I'm trying to find something that would be racist, right?
Young man, laughed the farmer, you're sort of a fool. You'll never catch fish in McGilligut's pool. The pool is too small, and you might as well know it. When people have junk, here's the place that they throw it. You might catch a boot, or you might catch a can. You might catch a bottle. But listen, young man, if you sat 50 years with your worms and your wishes, you'd grow a long beard long before you'd catch fish.
Can you believe this racist garbage? Okay, let's keep going. I mean, this is an 8-minute long reading of the Dr. Seuss book that's being canceled.
Fishes. Answered Marco. It may be that you're right. I've been here 3 hours.
Hold on a second. It's a white kid. Can you see the racism now? It's a white kid trying to fish. If it was any other type of race, kid fishing, we'd probably be okay with it, right?
Hours without one single bite. There might be no fish. But again, well, there might. 'Cause you never can tell what goes on down below. This pool might be bigger than you or I know.
Wow, an imagination. This kid has an imagination.
This might be a pool like I've read of in books.
Horrible.
Connected to one of those underground brooks. An underground river that starts here and flows right under the pasture. And then, well, who knows?
Has to be a racist cracker living on a farm.
It might go along down where no one can see, right under State Highway 203. Right under the wagons, right under the toes of Mrs. Umbroso who's hanging out clothes. Might keep on flowing, perhaps, who can tell, right under the people in Sneeden's Hotel. Right under the grass where they're playing croquet. Then under the mountains and far, far away.
Lots of racist stuff here.
This might be a river, now mightn't it be, connecting McGilligut's pool with the sea? Then maybe some fish might be swimming toward me. If such a thing could be, they certainly would be. Some very smart fellow might point out the way to the place where I'm fishing, and that's why I say, if I wait long enough, if I'm patient and cool, who knows what I'll catch in McGilligut's pool?
Well, try not to yawn.
I might catch a thin fish. I might catch a stout fish. I might catch a short or a long, long, drawn-out fish.
Or a red fish, a blue fish, one fish or two fish. Who knows what I could catch if I could catch a fish. I'm pretty good. I could do this.
Any kind, any shape, any color or size. I might catch some fish that would open your eyes. I won't be surprised if a dogfish appears, complete with a collar and long floppy ears, woofing along, and perhaps he might chase,
like a catfish?
a whole lot of catfish right straight to this place.
Be cats.
I might catch a fish with a pinwheel-like tail. I might catch a fish who has fins like a sail. I might catch some young fish, some high jumping friskers. I might catch an old one with long flowing whiskers. I might catch a fish with a long curling nose. I might catch a fish like a rooster that crows. I might catch a fish with a checkerboard belly, or even a fish made of strawberry
Strawberry
jelly.
jelly. Oh, that has to be racist.
I might catch a seahorse, now mightn't I now?
Mine.
I might catch a fish who is partly a cow. Some fish from the tropics, all
Oh, see?
sunburned
Look at
and
that.
hot, might decide to swim up.
Oh, can't believe they didn't bring this up. But hey, remember, Hispanic people, Mexican people, they're not really a race anymore. They're basically white. Yeah, that's what they say. Because, stay with me. I know it's kind of hard to not laugh about this stuff, but because Hispanic people are so widely dispersed and there's so many of them in the United States of America now, they don't qualify as a race that you can be racist towards because they're no longer the minority. So it doesn't matter if they're brown, it doesn't matter if there's all kinds of stereotypes of them like mowing lawns or being lazy or stealing stuff or whatever the dumb stereotypes might be. Doesn't matter because they're basically white. Yep. Seriously. Let's continue.
Well, they might they not? Racing up north for a chance to get cool. Full steam ahead for McGilligott's Pool.
He's an alcoholic too. Oh my gosh.
Some Eskimo fish from beyond Hudson Bay.
Now look at this. Can you believe it? They have an igloo. If anybody ever thinks of an Eskimo, they don't think of igloos. I mean, how barbaric. How disgusting. How horribly culturally inept. Hmm. I wonder if Eskimos would really get mad about this. I don't think they care. I think they're like, yeah, it's cool. There's an igloo. Look, they even have like the, really poofy hats, coat thing that we wear to keep us warm because we live in, like frozen wastelandy area on icebergs and stuff.
Might decide to swim down, might be headed this way. It's a pretty long trip, but they might and they may. I might catch an eel. Well, I might, it depends. A long twisting eel with a lot of strange bends, and oddly enough with a head on both ends. One doesn't catch this kind of fish as a rule, but the chances are fine in McGilligott's Pool. I might catch a fish with a terrible grouch, or an Australian fish with a kangaroo pouch.
Those poor Australians.
Who wants to catch small ones like mackerel or trout? Say, I'll catch a sawfish with such a long snout that he needs an assistant to help him about. If I wait long enough, if I'm patient and cool, who knows what I'll catch in McGilligott's Pool?
So to me, the point of this book, I'll back up a little bit because I accidentally hit the wrong pause. I was trying to pause the video, paused my recording app. The overall theme of this book, unless I'm mistaken, because I'm seeing this through my white eyes and my white privilege and fragility I just can't accept the blatant racism before me. Okay, yeah, I'm being sarcastic because this is ridiculous. I mean, not Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss is great, but the idea that Dr. Seuss is a racist is, come on. Come on. It's a kid's book. Just get a hobby. Find something better to do with yourself. It's pathetic. Anyway, so the overall theme is determination. I mean, this kid is being told, hey, there's nothing but garbage in that pool. And he's like, you know what? His imagination runs away from him. And he's just thinking about all these cool fish. And he's like, if I'm patient and I'm cool, who knows what I'll catch in McGilligut's Pool. It's all about not giving up, sticking to your guns, doing what you think is right, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, so the kid catches a boot maybe in the end. I don't know. I haven't watched this or read it in quite a while because it's been a long time since I read Dr. Seuss. But is that really bad? Teaching kids to use their imagination and be determined and fish in a pond that people say isn't full of fish?
Gilligott's Pool. Some roughneck old lobster, all gristle and muscle, might grab at my bait. Then would I have a tussle. To land one so tough might take 2 or 3 hours, but the next might be easy. The kind that likes flowers. I might catch some sort of a fast-moving bloke who zips through the waves with an overarm stroke. I might, and I may, and that's really no joke. A fish even faster, a fish, if you please, who slides down the sides of strange islands on skis. He might ski on over and pay me a visit. That's not impossible, really, now is it? Some circus fish, fish from an acrobat school, might stage a big show in McGilligott's Pool. Or I
Still looking for this racist mic to drop here. Not seeing anything so far that is racist or horrible or harmful or portrayed people in harmful and hurtful ways. I mean, okay, there was a dude that had like a, Sergio Aragonés type of curly mustache, curly bill kind of mustache. But, tons of people have had those mustaches, not just Hispanic people. And yeah, he was leaning against a palm tree and he had like a margarita looking glass. So, and the Eskimo thing, seriously? That's, we got how many minutes left? I'm not seeing it here, people.
might catch a fish from a stranger place yet, from the world's highest river in far-off Tibet, where the falls are so steep that it's dangerous to ride 'em, so the fish put up chutes and they float down beside 'em. From the world's deepest ocean, from way down below, from down in the mud where the deep divers go, from down in the mire and the muck and the murk, I might catch some fish who are all going glurk.
Clerk.
Whales! I'll catch whales! Yes, a whole herd of whales, all spouting their spouts and all thrashing their tails. I'll catch 50 whales. Then I'll stop for the day, 'cause there's nothing that's bigger than whales, so they say. Still, of course, it might be that there is something bigger, some sort of a kind of a thingamajigger. A fish that's so big, if you know what I mean, that he makes a whale look like a tiny sardine. Oh, the sea is so full of a number of fish, if a fellow is patient, he might get his wish. And that's why I think I'm not such a fool when I sit here and fish in McGilligott's Pool. I hope you enjoyed that story. If you would like to see these books uploaded daily, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to check out all the other stories that are already uploaded. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, real quick, and I think I'm done making this video because I don't want it to be too long. And I don't know if anybody really wants to sit here and watch me ramble and spout off about stupid crap that's happening in the news. Idiotic crap that's happening in the news and all around the world. With cancel culture, cancer culture is what it really is. But check this out. So the Sneetches is another Dr. Seuss story.
This is the checkers game where
Sorry about the ad
grandson
here.
and granddad will bond.
Not going
The
to subject you to
Sneetches
the ad, so I
by
paused.
Dr. Seuss. Read by Miss Jill. Now the Starbelly Sneetches had bellies with stars.
So really quick, and I'll let some of this play, but the Sneetches was anti-racism, it was anti-bigotry. A lot of what Dr. Seuss wrote, who was a total white liberal dude. I mean, yeah, there are some white liberals out there that are smart and had a good place in the world and did good things in the world, even though they were liberal and, anyway, whatever. Um, you get where I'm going with that. But basically, he wrote the Sneetches, the star-bellied Sneetches. It's all about just the stupidity of people that think that they're better than other people because they have something that some other race or some other person might not have, like whether it's a BMW or, a nice fancy house up on the hill or going to an Ivy League college or whatever, I mean, or the brand new pair of Nikes. I mean, it's all about materialism and just basic stupidity, treating other people like they're less than you because you have something they don't. And so all the star-bellied Sneetches thought they were the coolest, and then all the non-star-bellied Sneetches were treated like crap. And then this slick salesman dude with this weird machine was like, "Hey, for $3 each, you can have a star on your belly, you Sneetch," and sold them all. They jumped in the machine. They all got stars on their bellies. Then the star-bellied Sneetches were ticked because they're like, "Well, we're the original star-bellied Sneetches, and this can't be happening." So then the salesman comes in and he's like, "Hey, I can remove those stars because you don't need them, and you're the original star-bellied Sneetches. You're the original Sneetches." So they all go remove their stars, and it just shows the idiocy of thinking you're better than somebody else because of something you have, not because of who you are or what you do. And even that, just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're any better than the plumber that's chasing turds. I mean, people need plumbers. And it's kind of funny to say chasing turds, but I'm glad there's plumbers out there because when stuff gets messed up, somebody's got to fix those pipes. And not everybody knows how to do that. It's a valuable skill, just as necessary, just as needed as a doctor. I mean, a doctor might save your life. A plumber's going to save your basement from getting flooded. A little bit of a difference there, but you get my point.
Plain belly Sneetches had none upon ours. The stars weren't so big, they were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the star-belly Sneetches would brag, "We're the best kind of Sneetch on the beaches." With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort. "We'll have nothing to do with the plain belly sort." And whenever they met some, when they were out walking, they'd hike right on past them without even talking. When the star-belly children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You only could play if your bellies had stars, and the plain-bellied children had none upon theirs. When the
So you get the point. So anybody that thinks that Dr. Seuss was out there trying to like sneak racism into his books, just kills me. The idiocy in the world today. That's it. Just wanted to cover a couple of things and show you some of the things I found. Thanks. See you next time, whenever that is, whenever I feel inclined to make a video like this. Okay, so one thing real quick. I misstated. I said Dr. Seuss was 80-year-old, an 80-year-old white dude. He was 87 when he died back in 1991. So yeah, 1991, 30 years ago is when the guy died. He was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. And then he moved to La Jolla, California. And the guy was actually Theodore, shoot, I'm going to say his name wrong. Theodore Seuss, his middle name was Seuss, Geisel. And yeah, German. So he has to be a Nazi. He has to hate everybody and every race because, German. Actually, on his Wikipedia page, it talks about how a lot of the books that he wrote were inspired by some of the crappy treatment he got, being that he was of German descent, right after World War II. So, I mean, as you can imagine, if you've ever seen The Power of One, excellent movie, by the way, one of my favorites. Um, you know, some of the German people and English people weren't treated so well. The English were treated like crap by Germans. Germans weren't treated so well in America, as you can understand, because we basically saved the Germans from taking over the world. Anyway, so yeah, just wanted to clear that up. So he was born March 2nd, 1904, died September 24th, 1991, and I mean there was some kind of tragic stuff that happened to the guy, despite being one of the best children's authors of pretty much all time. Really, I mean everybody knows who Dr. Seuss is. I think he has like 47 of the top 50 books on Amazon, something like that. I just read. Don't know if I quoted that exactly, so don't hold me to that. But the story, and to think that I saw it and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, one of the racist books, actually was made based on some of his own life experiences. So, and like I was saying, where he wasn't treated so well for being a person of some German descent, even though I mean he was born in America. But I mean, it says it right. I could just show you this page. I don't know why I'm not just showing you the Wikipedia page that I'm getting this from. Put this over here. So yeah, got to resize that. There he is. Published his first children's book in 1937. So it's now 2021, right? So let's see. 2021 minus 1937. 84 years ago, he wrote his first book. 84 years. This stuff hasn't offended anybody. It's never been called racist. But now, in the age of Coca-Cola, with Joseph Robinette, very appropriately named, stealing Robinette elections, Biden, deepest state dude known to man, puppet. Anyway, whatever. Let's not get into all that. But people know how I feel. Yeah, I mean, this guy hasn't offended anybody for. Why now? Why now? Why is it that all the things like Land O'Lakes butter, we got to remove the Native American or the indigenous person, however you want me to say that she's not a white person. The girl on the butter box. Got to get rid of her. It's offensive. Makes people mad. Now, granted, I'm not from the Cherokee tribe or the Shoshone tribe or the Apache tribe or whatever. I mean, I'm a white dude. I don't really have a culture, right? And I'm too afraid to even talk about race because I'm fragile. Just all the crap that's said about white people. I know a lot of people don't like white people. Well, you're being racist if you hate people just because they're white. Just like anybody else is being racist if they don't like somebody of a particular race or nationality or whatever, just based on what they are without knowing who they are. I mean, come on. So, anyway, the point I'm making here is, why now? Why does Uncle Ben, who's been on the box of rice forever, have to go now? Why? I mean, somewhere a bunch of actual racists, white supremacists, are like laughing their butts off because they're getting exactly what they wanted, which was to remove people of color or to get rid of different races. I mean, you got Mrs. Butterworth. I don't know if she's even around anymore. I guess, yeah, she's getting a new name because we can't have that anymore. What else? I mean, there's so many. It's just crazy. Yet, it's okay for the Morton Salt girl. I guess that's out of Utah. I should be careful. That's probably a little closer to home than you'd think. But I mean, that's a little. I'm looking for the logo. The logo's a little crazy, a little. A girl like walking around with an umbrella, sprinkling salt everywhere. Salty cracker, throwing salt all over. Seriously. Whoops. Anyway, I mean, but that's okay. We're gonna leave the little white girl on the salt, right? And what else? Like Cracker Jack. The Cracker Jack story, come to find out, I was being sarcastic and bringing up, hey, we got this boy, and it literally says cracker. I mean, how can we keep that? It's so racist. That little boy actually died. He was like the nephew of the guy that started the Cracker Jack company, and it was kind of like homage and a tribute to that little boy, come to find out. So people were kind of schooling me and getting after me for that because I was like, how could we have this cracker white boy? Of course, I was doing a parody. I was like making fun of the fact that we can have white kids or white people on products in the store, but we got to get rid of the indigenous people. Got to get rid of the black people. Can't have it. It's offensive. But you can leave white people on there because we can't be racist towards white people because white people are racists. They're all racists, and so all white people can be treated like racists, but they can't be treated poorly because of their race, because they're white. It's all just a lot of, it's hard to keep up with all of it, but yeah, so I just wanted to add to that and correct myself for the statement that I made that was completely incorrect. So there we go.